actually, this should work now. Let me see something here.
I have to finish the story.
That'll do. That'll do. So let's do it then. Let's finish the story. Hey. Let's get going. As always, let me know if some audio adjustments should be made. I know for the intro video, we gotta pull it the whole way down because it's quite loud. It is quite the loud intro video.
What the hell happened to me?
Junpei, are you alright?
Hey, what are you two doing?
Come on, are you coming?
What do you mean to do to us?
Try using your
Sunrise stream? I don't know about that. It is only 10:15. I don't know if we're gonna get to 8 in the morning out of this, Blunter. I really don't think so. I think our sunrise stream days are done, unfortunately.
I'm plenty friendly. Hold on a minute. That is the truth.
How can I forget?
How do I take it
What
off?
makes you so sure?
Hello.
So last time we Santa kidnapped June, Lotus, and Ace and went through the number 9 door, leaving Junpei, Santa, and Clover to try and seek a way out. But thankfully, Snake was in the coffin, and we had our clue about Truth had gone from the safe ending, so we were able to rescue him.
I see. I believe I understand things rather well now. Thank you. In the shower room, there is a dead body wearing my clothes. Because of that, you thought that I was dead, correct?
He had quickly and neatly summarized the events of several hours.
Yeah.
Junpei nodded.
You also discovered a corpse in the captain's quarters, and Santa turned on you here, in this room. Do I have it straight?
Well, the dead body in the captain's quarters is a surprise.
Oh yeah, I suppose we haven't told Seven anything.
Sorry, there wasn't a good time to tell you.
Don't worry about it.
Well then. I've got a pretty decent idea of what happened while I was indisposed, but it's still something of a mystery who did all this, and why. The corpse in the shower room that looked like me. And the corpse in the captain's quarters. Why were they killed in the way they were?
You don't know?
No. Why would I?
Yeah, why would he?
The guy in the shower room. We don't know who he is, so let's just call him Mr. X.
Mr. X? Really? You sure about that, Seven?
Anyway, this Mr. X is wearing Snake's clothes. But you're wearing some kind of weird robes. That means someone took your clothes and put them on Mr. X. We need to figure out who that was.
I apologize. but I have no idea who might have done this to me. I only just now woke up. I was unconscious during all the events you just described to me. They must have undressed me and changed my clothes during that time.
When were you knocked out?
When we split up to look for the red.
Where did they get you? Do you remember?
It was a small room in one of the hallways on C deck.
What happened?
The same thing that happened to every one of us when we were abducted. A canister releasing some sort of gas was thrown into the room. I believe the gas is some sort of incapacitating agent.
Then that means it was...
Zero.
Looks that way, huh?
There's nothing else I have to tell you. When I woke up, I was in this coffin.
Junpei crossed his arms and thought.
Why? Why did Zero make Mr. X wear Snake's clothes? How would that benefit Zero? I don't get it. What the hell does any of it mean?
To play up on Ace's prosopagnosia.
And I have no idea how I got the passcode for the coffin either. Truth had gone, and truth had gone. Where did those words come from? Why did I feel compelled to push the buttons on the bracelet after hearing them?
Seven had asked him about it while they waited for Clover to finish crying. He'd had no answer for him then, and he still didn't.
All I know is my fingers moved on their own. It was like I did it subconsciously. I don't get it. What the hell does any of it mean?
His mind was a maelstrom of mysteries, clues, theories, and more mysteries. He could barely think.
Also, Snake and Clover had been subjects in a similar experiment 9 years ago.
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany, and the other is danger. And someone did actually die. A girl. Her name was...
There had been another experiment conducted on this same ship 9 years ago. And a girl had died during it. Morphogenetic field theory. The two murders. Switching clothes. The Nonary Game.
And whatever strange thing was happening to Junpei himself. The maelstrom in his head spat out words and ideas that disappeared back into it almost as soon as he'd grasped them. But as he struggled through them, Junpei began to realize something. There was something that tied all of them together. And the point connecting the dots.
Zero. He's the ringleader. The person who trapped 9 of us on this sinking ship. Zero should know everything. If we can uncover Zero's identity, all of our questions will be answered.
Who was Zero? Junpei had the beginnings of a theory. If he could only test it. Or perhaps...
At any rate, we'll have plenty of time to decipher the details later. For now, it is of utmost importance that we escape. Junpei, it was 4:30 the last time you checked the clock, yes? That means we have less than an hour. We must hurry.
Hey, how are we gonna get out of here?
Isn't that obvious? Through the other number 9 door.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you're right. With Snake, we can open the door.
Don't tell me you hadn't figured that out.
As they sniped back and forth, Junpei glanced at Snake's left hand. He was wearing a bracelet with a 2 on it.
Come on, you gotta tell me these things.
I, assumed you'd figured it out.
And that made an ass of you and me.
Forget it. Let's just get going.
7 stomped off toward the smaller number 9 door. Clover, Snake, and Junpei followed. 7 quickly laid his hand on the red, and an asterisk appeared on the screen. Junpei and the others followed suit and laid their hands on the scanner panel. Soon, there were 4 asterisks on the screen. 7 glanced at them, then laid his hand on the lever of the red.
All right. You guys ready to go?
Yes.
Yep.
Junpei paused for a moment.
Not yet.
Huh?
Before we go in, I'd like to check something.
You want to check something?
Yeah, but before I do, 7, could you pull the lever? I want to make sure we can verify with just the 4 of us.
What do you mean? We don't need...
Just do it, all right? But if the door opens, don't go in yet, okay? Please, this is really important. I really need to check this, okay? Work with me here.
Junpei looked directly into 7's eyes. The older man looked back for a moment, and then nodded.
Fine.
Fine. Just like... 7 pulled down on the lever, and the door 9 creaked open. And then they waited. 6, 7, 8... After 9 seconds, the door closed.
All right. That means the 4 of us can go into door 9.
So, we knew that already. It's obvious.
Obvious. Yeah, you're right. It is. Now, what happens if we add Zero's bracelet?
What?
Zero's bracelet?
Why don't you take it out, Clover?
For a moment, Clover looked surprised, but she recovered quickly and stuck her tongue out at Junpei.
So you did know I had it. I picked it up because I thought it might be useful sometime.
She reached into one of the pockets of her voluminous jacket and produced a bracelet. Junpei took it from her and turned to 7.
This was on the left hand of the corpse in the captain's quarters. If you look at it, you can see it's got a 0 on the face. Just to make this a little easier to talk about, I'm gonna call the guy we found dead in the captain's quarters, Cap.
Yeah.
Then I should be able to open door 9 with just me, Clover, and his bracelet.
Five and 4 is 9, plus 0, yep.
Well, the big question is, if Cap is the mastermind of this game, would he really put one of these bracelets on? Anyway, let's just give it a shot. Clover, give me your hand.
Okay.
Now the captain's bracelet. And pull the lever.
However, the door didn't open. The Reds display read, "Error."
I knew it. Now, what does this tell us?
Maybe the bracelet has to be on your wrist in order for it to work?
No, that's impossible. Did you see how the panel showed a 3rd asterisk when I scanned Cap's bracelet? Whether or not it's on your wrist doesn't matter. All you have to do is put the bracelet near the panel for it to register.
7 waved his bracelet in front of the scanner panel. Sure enough, a single asterisk appeared on the red.
Huh. Looks like you're right.
See? So what does that mean? There's only one possibility.
That bracelet isn't the number 0. Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Then what number is it?
Let's find out.
Junpei, scan the bracelets with this combination. Right, we know it's a 6 bracelet. Because it's O, which is 24, which is 2 plus 4 equals 6. So 2 and 5 is 7, 7 and 7 is 14, plus 6 is 20, 2 plus 0 is 2, so it's not that one. 2 and 4 is 6, plus 6 is 12, plus 7 is 19, so 1 and 9 is 0, not that one. 6 and 5 is 11, plus 7 is 18, 1 and 8 is 9.
Let's try 7, me, and Cap. If this combination opens the door, then Cap's bracelet is number 6.
Hey, it opened! Had the door opened!
What? Why? What does that mean?
Both 7 and Clover seemed rather shaken. As they turned to look at Junpei for answers, the door slid heavily shut. Junpei raised an eyebrow.
Isn't it obvious? Cap's bracelet is number 6.
But doesn't it say 0?
This isn't a 0. The symbol on here isn't a number 0. It's a letter O.
Oh.
Whoa, wait a minute. I don't get it. I mean, we figured out that Cap's bracelet is 6, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean there are 2 people with 6s?
It does. Before Junpei could answer, Snake spoke up.
There is most likely only one person with a 6.
But I don't get it. What about June?
Well, this is only an educated guess, but I think June's number was never 6 to begin with. Her bracelet was flipped. In other words, June's real number is
9.
That seems the most likely.
Then all this numbered door stuff was just a load of crap?
Why would you say that?
Because if June is 9, then the numbers wouldn't match up.
Clover grabbed Junpei's notebook and began to write furiously in it.
Here, look.
Quick Maths Queen is at it again. I'm telling Snake to look, though. Junpei leaned over to look at
A
it.
list of all the numbered doors June's gone through.
I'll let you know what I'm writing, okay, Snake? And that's everything.
So there was an image in the last stream that I said I absolutely loved. This might tell you why.
I wrote down which door she went into and with whom. And I wrote what all the numbers were. So if you switch 9 in wherever there's a 6, the numbers don't work. If the digital root is 7, then you can't open door 4. If the digital root is 2, then you can't open door 8.
Clover, do you notice anything interesting on that list?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
You're talking about 3, right?
3?
Santa's always in the room with her. That's what you're saying, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
What about it?
That's quite simple, really. You told me that the first time you came to this room, Santa was the first to refuse to leave June behind. Now, doesn't that beg the question why? Why would Santa do such a thing? The answer is easy. Because Santa can't open door 9 with only 7 in Lotus. Of course, there's only one reason for that.
Which is?
His number isn't actually 3.
No.
Santa's real number, 7? Would you be so kind as to modify my sister's equations?
Yeah, sure.
Seven took the pen from a confused Clover and began to adjust her calculations.
This is what you were getting at, right, Snake? Hmm.
He read out the changes he'd made. When he finished, he looked at Snake. Snake smiled. Every 3 turned into a 0.
Thank you. That is exactly right, Seven. Santa's true number wasn't 3. It was 0.
No way. Santa is 0?
And June was 9, not 6. Conversely, Santa was 0, not 3. Plus 3 and minus 3, they cancel one another out. Nothing appears out of order.
Santa was still playing by the rules of the Nonary Game this whole time.
Precisely.
So you're saying Santa planned this whole thing?
I'm not sure if he acted alone or not, but I think it is safe to conclude that he is 0. If my hypothesis is correct.
Clover bit her lip. She seemed to be having some difficulty believing her brother's explanation. Junpei... Junpei remained silent and thought.
Snake's hypothesis. Something doesn't seem right. June's bracelet being flipped. Even if that were possible, that would mean there are 2 number 9 bracelets. And if that's the case...
All right, that's enough talking. Let's go. It's high time we went through that door.
Door 9 opened. And they leapt through. So what if I was to tell you Santa's bracelet not being a 3 was actually given away last stream? If I draw your attention to this, the game told you exactly what you needed to know here in this image. Santa's bracelet isn't a 3. It's an E. Now, if F is 15, that would mean E is 14. 1 plus 4 equals 5. Something's wrong there. But hey, why do we have 2 number 9 bracelets? Well, let's see if the game answers itself, shall we? The dead was directly in front of them as they came through the door. Quickly, they scanned their bracelets. And the detonator stopped.
Oh.
After pausing for a moment to catch their collective breath, Junpei and his companions headed down the long hallway in front of them.
All right, let's keep going.
At the end of a set of stairs leading down into the ship,
I think these stairs go to the bottom deck.
they leaned out and looked over the side.
Looks dry.
Let's head down.
After deciding it was safe, they headed down the stairs. Before long, Junpei and his companions found themselves on the bottom deck. They turned left into another hallway, at the end of which they found another door.
Hey, it's a...
And of course, there was a symbol engraved over the keyhole. It looked like the sort of harpoon one would use to hunt fish, the kind with 3 prongs. Snake traced the shape of it with his fingers.
This is the Neptune symbol. There must be a key around here somewhere.
Neptune key. I only have the Uranus key card.
Clearly it wasn't going to open this door.
It's a different planet. Plus, it's the wrong kind of key.
Let's turn around and go back for now.
Yeah.
After examining the door for a few more minutes, they gave up and headed back the way they'd come.
Hey, another door.
With a little more searching, they found the metal door.
And a card reader this time.
A symbol was engraved onto the card reader.
It's the Uranus symbol.
This is the place.
He muttered to himself and slid the card through the reader. It beeped once and the light on it turned green. With a heavy metal groan, the door creaked open. Junpei, Clover, Snake, and Seven looked at one another, nodded, and stepped through. The room they found themselves in was full of books.
Wow! It's totally full of books!
There's so many. I don't know where to look.
It looked remarkably like a library. Not the sort of library where large numbers of people came to read books. More the sort of library that was simply a place to store books. He felt a little overwhelmed by the sheer number of books, but Junpei did his best to speak with authority.
All right, if we want to get through that door out there, we need the Neptune key. I say we split up and look for it.
Okay.
Very well.
Sure thing.
Good. Let's get started then. We don't have a lot of time. Hurry.
Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge. As he began his search, for reasons he didn't fully understand, Junpei felt those particular words float through his mind. Hey, Yura! Alright, it is go time? So let's do it. Let's do the thing. Right. Ice the Unknown Ranger. Yeah, this is the true ending. This is our final run. Lights to the books. Huh, what does that mean? Interesting. Well, intelligence often hides itself in darkness. Have you ever thought about the pages of a book? Each page only sees what? Maybe 2 or 3 minutes of light before the reader is on to the next. They spend the rest of their lives locked in darkness. Rather like myself. That's horrible! Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. Not at all. I live in the darkness, yes. But that has gifted me with the ability to catch the truths others might miss. I can hear the voices hidden in the darkness, you might say. Hopefully you enjoy— oh, I know how it ends. I'm just kind of sad that the final puzzle isn't going to be as fun or as difficult as the DS version. Paleontology? This one's about fossils, right? Ammonites are pretty nasty looking. What was the DS versions like? It was a Sudoku puzzle that made sense because it was the 2 screens and the whole twist of the game. Rather than just... Well, we'll get there. I won't spoil it for those who might be experiencing this for the first time. Is that some sort of book about hippie chicks? Probably not, except perhaps tangentially. It's most likely about environmental protection. I was just trying to make a joke. Dude, hippie chicks? Really? The theory of evolution? Heck, even I know this one. This is that Darwin guy, right? Yes. Well, yes and no. Charles Darwin wrote a book called On the Origin of the Species. In it, he put forth his theory of evolution. Yeah, I remember that part. He called it natural selection. Exactly. Introduction to geology, huh? Thinking about the Earth even when you're on the ocean. Kind of romantic in a way, I guess. Theories of the Cambrian explosion. Did a bomb go off near somewhere called Cambria? Wrong kind of explosion. Roughly 500 million years ago, during what is known as the Cambrian period. Research suggests that the variety of living organisms increased by an order of magnitude. Why that happened is, however, still something of a mystery. There are a number of theories. This book is most likely a collection of them. This one says transition of extinct species. I love Sudoku. Yeah, like when we get to the final puzzle, I'll bring up a screenshot of how the... Oh, I'm glitching out. I'll bring up a screenshot of how the DS version worked. Just to kind of show people how it was changed for the HD remake. We need to hurry it up or we're going to end up in the pages of a book like that. Why did mankind lose their tails? Junpei, do you know what this one's about? Why are you asking me? I didn't even know we had tails to lose. Maybe you should ask a human with a tail. Mankind's ancestors most likely lost their tails as they were no longer useful and the nutrients required to grow them were better put to use elsewhere. At least, that's what I read. I was rather young. I may have remembered it incorrectly. Huh. Why the hell would a kid be reading a book like that? Mycographia, huh? Ah, yes. Robert Hooke's famous work, first published in 1665. He built a microscope and examined insects, inorganic substances, and other things too small to be seen in detail by human eyes. He then drew pictures of many of the things he'd examined and published them in a book. I'd hazard a guess this shelf is concerned with natural sciences. Creatures of the South Seas, huh? I wonder if this one's got pictures of colorful fish and stuff. I think the sub-ending is my favorite ending overall. The route revealed lots of lore, raised new questions, and colored how I viewed the rest of the game. Yeah, it's very good. The axe ending is something of a meme for us, so... Oh, yep, there is all of our Zero Escape referenced emotes. Thanks, Astral. Alright, let's see. Okay, we just... Oh gosh. Mind swap? You mean you could, like, change bodies with someone? Well, I guess I wouldn't mind switching bodies with my brother, or Junpei too much. But I'd rather die than let Seven switch with me. Oh, what the hell? Like I'd even want to swap bodies with a little brat like. Hey, were you just You were just imagining it. You were! Shut up. Well, yeah, he wasn't the only one. Teletemportation and telepathy. What the hell is this one about? Oh, well, I know what telepathy is, but I've never heard of teletemporation. It refers to having the ability to travel through time. This one says the golden rabbit and the moon on it. Does that mean it's about a rabbit that lives on the moon? Sequel baiting before we even get there. Okay, sure. Clover, virtue may be your last reward after all. Okay. Rabbits are pretty cute, but what's the moon stuff about? It's talking about the Judas tree that is said to grow on the moon, according to Chinese legend. Kitab al-Azif. Man, they've got some weird stuff here. I can't even pronounce this one. Who's that? Some famous guy? It's not a person's name, it's the name of a fictional book created by Abdul al-Hazred. It's said to be one of the sources used in the creation of the legendary Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon. Oh. So these are all occult books and stuff. Is it bound in human flesh and inked in human blood? What the? What's the deal with these titles? They're all just gibberish. Hey, like, what if we switch them around? Switch them around? Yeah. Like, if we move them around, maybe they'll spell something. Oh, I get it. Yeah, heck, it's worth a shot. How about this? Huh. Looks like putting those books in the right order opened this thing right up. Huh. That was a piece of cake. Hooray! You did it, Junpei! I guess that turned out well enough. So the letters from the title spell out, open here, find bulb. Okay, powerful light bulb. That can't be everything here, though. Are property values going up out in space too these days? Man, guess times are tough for aliens too. This one says cosmic inflation. Quantum gravity? Seven, do you have any idea what this is? How about you start by using real words? Then maybe we'll get somewhere. Jesus. What's this? An overview of conformal field theory. Ah, well, it's a theory that posits an invariant quantum field where conformal transformation can take place. Ah, knock it off with the science voodoo stuff. You trying to put me to sleep? Supersymmetric string theory and 10-dimensional space-time. They're just talking about superstring theory. It's a theory of reality where... How to explain? It says that all elements of the universe are governed by vibrations and harmonics of tiny supersymmetric strings. Yeah, because that made more sense. The theory of general relativity, huh? Oh, I know this one! That's Einstein, right? Weren't there, like... a kid's book? Here? It looks like a children's story about Native Americans. Don't you think a random book like that is kind of suspicious? Like, maybe you want to hold on to it. Cowboys and Indians. Hey, Blunter, enjoy your lurk. You've a favorite character, Ice. Hey, Junpei, take a look at this one. Native Americans, huh? Maybe it's got some... Whoa! Lilk. Cultural heritage of Rome. Oh, I bet that's going to be a serious inheritance tax. Jeez, Seven. Hermian creatures. Seems a little fancy for some kind of prehistoric critter. Not to mention, most of them were likely reptiles and amphibians. Without hair, I can't imagine they had that much need of perms. That's got nothing to do with this. What's Hellenism? I think it's something like a fusion of Greek and Oriental culture. History of the medieval period. Maybe it's about Sir Lancelot? Isn't he just a story? I don't think you're gonna find a guy who didn't really exist in a history book. You tell that to the Brits and Robin Hood. History of Buddhism. Oriental history. Maybe this one's about China's 4,000 years of history or something. Hey, Chinese history and Oriental history aren't the same thing. This one's called History of the Western World. Well, I'd assume it's about European history. Yeah. Just gonna leave it at that, Snake? Doesn't seem like you. Oh, is there something he actually doesn't know about? Hey, look at this. This book's called Greek Mythology. Damn, that thing's huge. Can't imagine anyone's actually read the whole thing. Pretty sure it'd just put me to sleep. 7, I think a lot of things will just put you to sleep. Black hole hypothesis, gamma ray astrophysics. I guess this bookshelf has an astronomy theme. Okay. So where the hell are the other... Right, there's no other book that stands out here like the pop-up one from before. Oh, wait. This one! It looks just like that picture book from earlier. The one with the pop-ups. You think they're part of a series or something? They do have the same binding. There's a baseball on this one. Come on, Junpei, let's see what's in it. Fundamentals of baseball. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it's probably baseball. Whoa! Head. Lilk head. Okay. Human equilibrium theory. Human anatomy. Regeneration of internal organs. Oh my god, hold on. Yo, oh my god, there's so much here. Holy shit. I forgot just how much more the timeline opens once you get past the coffin. Jeez. Okay. Ancient gladiators? What's this book doing here? Maybe they were researching human physical limits across history? Oh, look, this one's called Recreation of Lost Human Functions. You think they're talking about if you, like, lose part of your body, then you could grow it back? I don't think so. Maybe they're talking about reconstructing abilities that humankind once possessed? In other words, they may be talking about cultivating a sixth sense. Functions of the human brain, huh? Oh, I guess this is a book about the nervous system. I'd love to ask you to read it to me, but I don't think we have the time. I'm kind of curious about it too. There's gotta be a reason why people connect with each other, you know? Dissection, all medical books. Oh, look, 7! Here's a book that's perfect for you. It's called Correlation of Muscle, Bone Density, and Bone Strength. You're just saying that because it says muscle. I love their little rivalry. Principles of monkey behavior. Huh? I'd imagine that's a book describing praxeology studies on monkeys. The monkeys are very similar to humans evolutionarily, so I imagine the research was fruitful. Okay. Are there no other... Are we gonna have to go down for... We're gonna have to go down to the bottom layer for more pop-up books. Looking that way. Energy theory, huh? I don't even understand the damn title. Looks like this shelf's all science and technology. Okay, boomer. Yeah, okay, I guess we go downstairs. Okay. The Pythagorean theorem. This is a famous one. Sounds like there are a number of math books in this section. Algebraic number theory. Math, huh? Oh, there's another one like that over here. You mean something like primary number theory, or analytical number theory, or geometry? Oh my gosh, how did you know? Nobody said anything about those. Well, number theory is usually split into 4 chief disciplines. If there was a book named Algebraic Number Theory, I took a wild guess that the other 3 would be there as well. Looks like I was right. And I like being right. Dad kind. Laterans, Owen, and Sheldrake. Dad kind? What the hell is this? Wasn't that a German mathematician? Maybe it's a compilation of his work? Lieberens? This book is in German. It looks like it's the complete works of something. I've never heard of it. Well, if Snake doesn't know what it is, I don't think we'll ever know. Owen, huh? Owen isn't enough to go on. Perhaps it's about the English Revolutionary? Sheldrake. Sheldrake. Isn't Sheldrake... Huh? Lotus told us about him earlier. It's a weird book, Junpei. Indian mathematics. That's funny. Why is that funny? This one's Goldbach's Conjecture. Conjecture? What's it about? Like magic or psychic stuff or something? Right, I bet it's about jewelry, isn't it? It may have an odd title, but it's actually a very respectable mathematics book. It deals with one of the unsolved problems of additive number theory. Sorry I said anything. Look, let's not get into this right now, okay? It says Riemann hypothesis! What is there to hypothesize about with a Riemann? Isn't it pretty straightforward? Heavens, no. There are many factors. Length, girth, lubrication, or lack of. It's an exciting and rapidly growing field. Whoa! The fuck just happened there? Wording indeed. Another one of these picture books. Brings back good memories. I guess even people like Seven were kids once. No shit, you little brat. Hey, guys, cool it. Alright, I think I'm gonna take this picture book with me. Tales of Old Japan. Okay. SE -5. Modern Japanese literature, huh? What's this? Origin of Japanese folklore? It looks like there are a bunch of books about Japanese culture here. Mostly ones about folklore, though. Well, folklore can cover a wide range of subjects. History, urban life, religious trends, environmental changes, oral traditions. Folklore can cover all of those things, if you know where to look. This looks pretty deep. Agriculture and historical organizations in folklore. Ah. Okay, we can't do that yet. Oh, so I can't just put in the light bulbs one at a time? So where the hell else do I need to go? The heck? Oh, wait, hold on. I thought the combination to that safe had something to do with the books here, but I think it might actually just be these. So 632415. Oh, yeah, oh, damn it. 6, 3, 2, 4, 1, 5. Yay! You did it, Junpei! Yay! I don't know why, but I feel particularly happy about being praised for that. Whatever. At least the lock's open now. Let's see if we can get it open, alright? Another bulb? Okay. Yeah, I didn't like that one. Okay, so there's a third bulb somewhere. Can we go back up? No. I wish you could, like, change scenes, like, while you were zoomed in on one of the bookcases. Just make everything a bit more straightforward, you know? Hmm. Where the hell is the other bulb? Okay, maybe it is downstairs. It's a bit random. No, not the staircase. Warm? Oh, sorry. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Hey, what's the deal with this sappy stuff? So... I'm not gonna have to look this up, am I? Huh? Did I not click here already? Mother... Bright now, it's almost blinding. Alright, so we just have to do this. Sheldrake 5. So, video game. Why am I not allowed just... Yeah. I'm checking on Sheldrake 5. What else do you want me to do? I swear, video game, if you're being so literal that... Hold on.
Sheldrake 5?
There we go.
I think I saw the rest of his collection somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around here.
Let's go take a look.
Alright, I'm gonna crack open this monster while this story section plays out.
Sheldrake.
Have you heard of him? Sheldrake, I mean.
Yeah, Lotus told me about him.
There's a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He has a rather interesting theory.
So, fun fact, Sheldrake's
Morphogenetic
morphogenetic field
which
theory
relies
can
on the
actually
theory
be
of
read about
morphic
online.
resonance.
Really? From Lotus, huh?
Well, Clover also said something to me about that stuff.
She did?
Yeah, what was it?
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is
Sheldrake's
affected by a
morphogenetic
couple of
field
things.
theory is actually...
The
Yeah,
first
you
is
can actually read
epiphany,
about it.
and the other
It's an
is
interesting
danger.
read.
That girl. I told her not to tell anyone.
You did? Why?
Well,
Look, man, I didn't push it because we're in a hurry, but I'm kind of sick of this. How about you just tell me, okay?
tell you what?
Don't give me that. About the experiment.
Ugh. Very well, fine. I'll tell you everything. But not here. Let's move to the top floor. I suppose I might as well start by telling you why I kept quiet, and why I made sure Clover did as well. To be honest, the explanation is quite simple. Zero told me not to. I had little choice. He didn't walk up and tell me, of course. He gave me a message engraved on a card.
That's a Braille card. It looks just like the one you showed us earlier. So you had 2 cards.
No, only one.
Huh? What do you mean? I thought that card just had some rules for the Nonary Game on it.
Yes, it did. And those were the rules I read you. However, they were not the only thing on the card. There was something I didn't read. Well, perhaps I should say, there was something I couldn't read.
And that was?
Tell no one of the events that took place 9 years ago. Tell, and I activate your sister's detonator. It's a threat on our lives.
Oh. Well, what about Clover? Did she get a message from Zero too?
I don't believe she did. But doesn't it strike you as strange that Zero would shut my mouth, but not hers?
Yeah.
To be on the safe side, however, I told her it was best not to tell anyone. Still, apparently she told you. That girl.
What's wrong with her telling me? I figured some stuff out with the things she told me. I mean, it looks like the whole activate her detonator thing was just a bluff. She's prancing around downstairs happy as a clam now that you're back.
That's very true. I've decided I can trust you.
Famous last words.
I've decided to tell you the truth. The chance that Santa is Zero is very high. I feel I can assume Santa doesn't have the time to observe us at the moment. And at any rate, even if he were, I very much doubt he would kill us.
Why?
Clover told me about the 4-leaf clover, about the words. If he knew about that, then he was in my group during the first experiment. I'm sure of it. He wouldn't kill us, no matter what the situation was.
Hey, Snake?
Yes, I know. You want to know what happened during the experiment.
Yeah, so please stop trailing off and just answer the bloody question.
Yeah.
How much do you know?
Clover told me about...
I see. The morphogenetic field in the experiments 9 years prior. How the experiments had taken place simultaneously at 2 locations, one being the ship and the other being a building in Nevada. And the girl that died during the experiment. She told you all that, did she? At any rate, I now know how much you've learned. All that remains for us to determine
is who did this and why, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me what happened?
Yes. The people who organized the initial experiment were from a company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals. There were 4 of them running the show. Gentaro Hongo, Nagisa Nijisaki, Teruaki Kubota, Kagechika Musashido. Hongo was the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
Well, gee, don't they all look familiar?
Nijisaki was his right-hand man and did the lion's share of the planning. Kubota led the company's research and development division. Musashido was their majority stockholder. It was these 4 people who planned the initial experiment. Let me simplify it for you. Hongo designed it, and Nijisaki put it all together. Kubota developed the technology required, and Musashido provided the cash.
So it's Hongo, Nijisaki, Kubota, Musashido.
Of course, more than 4 people were required to conduct an experiment of this scale. To that end, they organized a top-secret team to assist them with their research. All in all, they gathered 10 people or so.
So, Cradle in itself is an important word in this series that gets lost in translation for Virtue's Last Reward. The Myrmidons in the Japanese version of Virtue's Last Reward, they are called clay dolls. Cradle, clay doll. I'll say nothing else, just because spoilers for those who haven't played VLR. But if you do, going into this game from this one, just keep that in mind.
Those 10 completed their team, and they were able to begin the project. They named it the Nonary Project. The purpose of the experiment was to research the prospect of controlling a human mind through sheer will. The vessel, I suppose you could say, for this control was the morphogenetic field. Why did the glycerin suddenly begin to crystallize? Why did the crystal structure of EDT undergo a sudden change? Why did the rats improve their puzzle-solving skills with each generation? Experiments with humans produced the same results. The more people who knew the answer to a question, the more there were who could answer correctly without having seen the problem before. Why is that? How could it happen? The answer is that the shape of the answer has been stored in a field invisible to the naked eye. And through that field, the resonant event transmits information related to that answer. That's essentially the idea behind morphogenetic fields.
But that's just a theory.
Yeah, no.
Can't bring yourself to believe it?
Can't bring myself to say it.
Yeah.
Let's say someone killed another person because the devil told them to do it. Whether the devil exists or not has no relevance to the murder. They believe the devil exists. Whether or not he does is immaterial.
So what matters here is that Hongo believed in the morphogenetic field.
That's right.
But I still don't get it. You said they wanted to figure out how to control people, right? That is what you were saying.
Yes.
So how are they going to do that with a morphogenetic field?
I'll keep it simple. Let's suppose 10,000 people have solved a certain problem. The chance of you knowing that answer, even if no one has told you, will go up. Let's have another example, shall we? Say 1 million people were to do a handstand right now. Tomorrow, the chances of you doing a handstand would be higher, even if you had heard nothing of this hypothetical mass handstanding. Mankind's thought process and actions are all part of a resonant event. All of the resonant events encoded in the fields are projected onto you. Of course, this assumes you believe in this theory. Do you follow so far?
Yeah.
Now, if there was a person who had the same effect as those millions of people, what would happen? If that one person were to do a handstand, other people would find themselves wanting to do handstands as well. Can you imagine what a person with powers like that would be able to do?
Come on, there's no way.
I'm not done. Imagine another scenario. Imagine another person. This is an ordinary person. Let's say he does a handstand. What if there was someone who could grab the resonant event he created by doing that and use it to make other people do handstands? What would happen then?
Wait, what?
A person who has the power to write to the field, and someone who can read from the same. You could think of them as the writer and the reader, or the transmitter and the receiver. What would the world be like if there were people with abilities like these?
So the transmitter's resonant event can be transmitted through the field and sent to the receiver. And then the transmitter can control the receiver however they wish. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes. Close enough, at least.
Come on, that's just crazy.
Well, if you want to prove that, then you'll have to test it first. At least, that was how they thought. That was why they decided to do their experiment. That was how the Nonary project began. By the way, Junpei, have you ever heard of the Gansfeld experiment?
Yeah, that was an experiment in telepathy, right? You place a pair of subjects in separate rooms. Then you show one a picture and ask the other what they see.
Interesting. I'm impressed. Yes, that is exactly correct.
So, why did you bring up the Gansfeld experiment?
Because it's very similar to the morphogenetic field idea.
It was used to screen subjects for the Nonary project. The hospital in a remote town was affiliated with Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Hongo used it to conduct experiments on visiting children in secret. Some of them, he found, had potential. He began to gather children that showed promise. Children that seemed as though they might be able to access the field. Of course, none of them volunteered. They were kidnapped. There were 9 pairs of siblings taken, for 18 children total. For reasons that were not fully understood at the time, each pair had one transmitter and one receiver. They were split perfectly.
Until they weren't.
As such, the 18 children were split into 2 groups of 9. The children who were put into Group Q were the ones who excelled at transmitting.
You, huh?
They were transferred to the mock experiment building known as Building Q in the Nevada desert. The children who excelled at receiving were put in Group A. Group A was then placed on the former hospital ship Gigantic. From the experiments he had conducted so far, Hongo had learned the following. There are 2 things that can increase one's resonance with the fields. The first is epiphany. The other is danger. Have you ever been faced with an especially difficult problem and thought about it very long and very hard until finally an answer suddenly appeared in your mind? It may seem obvious to say so, but that is what is meant by epiphany.
Well, for this version of Junpei, that's what Truth Had Gone became, right?
The information obtained through that epiphany can be easily transmitted through the fields, where it can be easily interpreted. Adding danger to that equation allows for even easier field access. That's where Hongo came in. They set up a number of puzzles across the Gigantic. The participants had to solve each one before they could move to the next room. Of course, he hadn't forgotten to include danger. He had detonated a bomb on the hull of the Gigantic. The children in Group A were forced to play the Nonary Game as the ship sunk. By forcing the children into a life-or-death situation, Hongo hoped to increase the likelihood of their tapping into the fields. The children from Group Q, on the other hand, were confined to the mock experiment building, Building Q. Building Q duplicated the interior and puzzles of the Gigantic exactly. Every detail was exactly the same. Hongo explained the situation to the children in Group Q. Solve the puzzles you find throughout the rooms. When you have the answers, transmit that information to the children in Group A. If you succeed, they will be able to solve the puzzles and escape. But if you fail, then the Gigantic will sink, and your brothers and sisters will drown. Those were his orders. Do you know why the astronauts of Apollo 13 were able to return to Earth safely? It was because NASA had access to a replica of the Apollo 13 capsule. All of the equipment, the instruments, everything. All of it identical. Everything was just like the real Apollo 13. NASA was able to replicate the situation the astronauts found themselves in. By putting themselves in the same situation, they attempted to solve the problems the astronauts were dealing with. Once they found solutions, they reported their findings to the men aboard the actual capsule. That was how they were able to return safely. It was the same with the Gigantic in Building Q. The children from Group Q had to use the power of epiphany to solve the puzzles they found and transmit what they learned through the fields. The children in Group A, however, they had to access the fields to learn how they might advance to the next stage. That is the simplest explanation I can manage.
Huh.
Hey, Junpei, Snake! How much longer are you two gonna sit around on those bony asses? Get down here already!
Yeah, I love 7.
He's right. Let's go, shall we? We don't have much time.
Yeah,
need to
like
get out of here and soon.
We only had an hour and a half ago.
Hold it. There's one more thing I
Hold
want to
it!
ask you.
Junpei thinking he's in Ace Attorney.
Hmm?
Although, if it wasn't for this game, I never would have gotten into the Ace Attorney series. This game was my first foray into visual novels, because Virtue's Last Reward was coming out on the 3DS, and I'm actually in the manual for that game, because of the way the European localization worked. Through Rising Star Games, it was basically a crowdfund, so I'm in the manual as a special thanks or whatever. But the first game, this one, 999, was never localized. It was localized obviously for the States, but it was never released properly in Europe. So I had to import a copy of the DS game. Because I was like, okay, well, this Virtue's Last Reward thing sounds very cool, and I like the premise of it. But if it's a sequel to another game, I'd like to have the context going in, right? So I imported it, I played through it, and it became like my favorite game. I've said a couple of times over the course of this playthrough, it's this and Bravely Default. It's those two, and I go back and forth depending on how I feel on a particular day.
Are you sure that there were 18 kids?
Well, because that got me into the visual novel, like point and click adventure stuff. Then I went into Ace Attorney. And funny enough to that, Ace Attorney 5 was my first one. Not Ace Attorney 1, Dual Destinies, number 5. And then I had to work my way backwards. So...
Why?
Well, I thought it was only 16.
Oh, yes. That was what they said on the news, wasn't it? Yes, I have no doubt that 18 children were abducted and used in Hongo's experiment. After all, you couldn't exactly play a Nonary game with any less, could you?
Well, yeah, but are you saying that the news got it wrong?
Yes, I am. There were 2 more children. However, they had no relatives that I'm aware of. I imagine no one filed a police report when they went missing. They were brother and sister, like Clover and I. The brother's name was Aoi.
Aoi, huh?
The sister's name was... Her name was... Her name was Akane. That was the girl who died.
Wait a second. You don't...
Akane Kurashiki died?
No, he didn't say that! He didn't say that!
9 years ago? Then, who is Chun? No. That's impossible. It can't be true. Akane isn't that uncommon of a name.
Right.
If Snake had known her last name, that's a different matter entirely. So they share a name. A lot of other people do too. It doesn't mean anything.
Right. Well done, Junpei.
It was someone else. Of course it was. It has to be.
It has to be. You haven't been playing the Nonary game with a ghost, right?
Is something wrong, Junpei? Your breathing sounds strange.
Oh, no, it's nothing. I'm fine. Let's get back down there, all right?
I couldn't do it. Why didn't I ask? What's her last name? I just couldn't get the words to come out.
Oh. Aoi and Akane Kurashiki, huh? Right, Sheldrake 5, that's what we're looking for, right? A big red button. Oh. Oh, 2 doors, lovely. I love when that happens. Right, something really big, up on top. Yep. Output monitor. Well, the Roman numerals spelt out dead, so let's go for that. D-E-A-D. Like Akane. Yay! You did it, Junpei! It's unlocked now! Good job, Junpei. Whoa there, don't get too excited. The password was dead, remember? Just makes me think whatever's waiting for us isn't good. So what? Jeez, you're such an old lady. We can't be worrying about stuff like that. I mean, come on. We got it to unlock, didn't we? Let's go! Hurry up! It's a thick metal door. Handle in the middle of it, though. It's the other door. Okay.